Today, we're going to be talking all about the makeup mistakes that you guys are making that are aging you faster, the makeup mistakes that we're all making that are aging us faster. This is the #1 topic on my channel that you guys want to learn about. It's the videos you always click on. It's the questions you always have. We posted questions in our community feed. We posted questions on Instagram, and we got a lot. I mean, endless amounts of questions about formulation changes, about technique changes, about brushes and placement. And we are so excited to be here today with you guys to teach you some skills, some techniques, and just little nuggets of information that we've learned along the way being in this industry for 2 decades. So as you guys know, I have an incredible guest with me today. I am so excited. I'm so excited to have her. She is an incredible LA-based celebrity makeup artist. She's an incredible content creator. And I'm really excited that she's now my friend and that I can share her with you guys. So let's welcome Nikki onto the stage.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so honored and excited. When I reached out to you, I was telling one of the girls that works on the channel, I'm like, oh, pray with me. And you emailed back and I was like, yes.
When I saw your email, I was so flattered. I was so flattered. I'm like, of course I want to be on your channel. Are you kidding me? You have such an amazing channel, and all your videos are so insightful. You have such amazing knowledge, and I can just tell you just really care. And I think all your videos are just extremely helpful, and they're very detailed and they're very thorough, and you can learn a lot watching your channel.
Oh my gosh, thank you. And I feel the same way about your channel. Like I always watch your channel on my bathroom counter when I'm doing my makeup and hair. And I have learned so many things about different products, budget products, different ways to use them. I completely changed the way I was doing my brows by watching your tutorial.
No way.
I'm serious. It's completely changed.
They do amazing. Wow, that's okay. That's very flattering. That makes my day. Comments like that, when I get comments like that, or when I hear things like that, that just makes my day. Honestly, it's the best feeling.
Yeah, it's great to learn from each other and other artists, and it's just amazing. So before we get into our audience questions, we are going to get into them. I want everyone to learn a little bit more about you, Nikki. So let us know your history in the beauty industry, how you got involved, and then how you kind of turn that into a career here on social media.
Yes. Wow. Well, how much time do we have? I'm just kidding. I've been a professional makeup artist for 16 years this year. I can't believe I'm saying that. It feels like just yesterday that I was very much struggling to make it. And of course, I'm an LA-based makeup artist, and there's a lot of competition out here, as I'm sure you could probably imagine. It's like, the mecca of trying to make it. But with that, there's also a lot of opportunity, and I found a lot of opportunity in Los Angeles, which was amazing. But I started out doing makeup, trying to do it on my own, basically trying to just do makeup on my friends, get my feet wet. And it wasn't until about a year or so later that I was like, I'm not really making the connections that I want. So I decided to find a makeup school. I went to makeup school. I went to a nighttime makeup school because I was working full time during that time during the day. So I hustled hard. Couldn't even afford my makeup school, to be really honest. And I had my sister pay for it. And I made her I think $50 payments per month to pay her back. So that was really cute. And after that, I worked really hard to get a job as a freelance makeup artist at MAC Cosmetics. That was like a dream of mine to work for MAC Cosmetics. And, back 15 years ago, that was the place to be. And once I got in, I was so thrilled. But actually, prior to working at MAC Cosmetics, I started in commercials. I worked on commercials, and I was trying to be just in the industry, working on commercials and TV and film. And then I quickly, after a couple years, actually, I realized that it wasn't quite for me. It was a little too boring, to be quite honest. I wanted to do glam. I wanted to just really get out there and do. I love glam. I was there for the glam, and the commercial world was just not there for the glam. So I had to leave, and I quickly focused solely on getting celebrity clients, getting my foot in the door with modeling agencies, working with models on set, and building up a celebrity clientele. And that's what I focused on for the last 7 years, probably. I've been focusing on that solely. In that
Yeah.
time, I also did a lot of bridal makeup. I was a bridal makeup artist for quite some time too. And
Yeah.
now we're here today, and 16 years later, I just decided to take a step in front of the camera, literally, and not be so behind the scenes. And I really want to help people with their makeup. And I have so much knowledge and so many techniques I've learned over the course of my career. And I find so much fulfillment in sharing that now. So it's been a really happy new addition to what I already do. And I'm still a working freelance makeup artist. I'm still on set on a weekly basis. And but now I'm also a content creator, and it has just been incredible to be on this platform.
When did you start, Nikki? When did you start YouTube? What year?
So I actually started during the pandemic, as we all started things during the pandemic. I was completely out of work as a makeup artist, of course, and I actually started posted my first few videos on YouTube, just filmed on my iPhone, edited on my iPhone. I brought in a couple friends that were models, and did it that way. And it just wasn't a sustainable way for me to do it. So I took a break, and then I enlisted my husband, who is a full-time photographer, and he also does videos, of course. And the rest is history. We've been going at it consistently for the last 2 years, and it's been amazing. So
Oh, that's incredible. You've had tremendous growth in 2 years. Like, you should be so proud of yourself. It is a hard
I am,
platform, and
yeah,
that's really
I'm so
amazing.
grateful because I just have such an amazing community. And I really, honestly, it sounds cheesy, but I wake up so grateful every single day that I started this and that I've built what I have. And it's just an amazing feeling. Really, I'm so proud of it.
I feel the same way. It's funny because I have a similar story. I did commercial work as well. I did fashion editorial, commercial, TV, music videos, and commercial work. It seems so glamorous. You're in your trailer, you got all your stuff, you're working with these big names, but it is go, 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 and then like
Mhm.
sit around all day and powder for
Yeah,
15, 16 hours.
and be exhausted. Yeah.
And I couldn't do it either. I thought, my gosh, I'm going to die inside. There is no glam. I actually got in trouble once. I did a commercial, and she was supposed to look like she was painting the wall. And I did this like beautiful, and they're like, she doesn't look like a normal woman painting the wall. And I'm like, she's got to look good painting the wall.
I relate to that so much, and I used to get in trouble more times than I want to actually admit when I was a commercial makeup artist for that reason. It wasn't for me. Like I wanted to just go for it. I just wanted to do lashes and cheek and everything, and it just yeah, like same thing exactly.
Yeah, you wanted to enhance, not just
Yeah.
soften for camera. It's different.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. And a ton of my friends work in the commercial industry still, but it just was not for me. And I feel like we have such a similar background. It's so funny.
It is. It is really funny. I'm the Canadian version.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, let's get to some audience questions because I know you guys are dying to know what Nikki thinks. Wait, okay, I promise I won't drag this out, but I need to tell you guys something really exciting first, okay? Nikki LaRose has a brush set by BK Beauty. It is an incredible brush set. I'm obsessed with this brush set. I've mentioned it in videos, completely unsponsored videos. Even Nikki messaged me. She's like, you get it. You get why I designed these brushes this way. This brush set is beyond, it's just incredible. They're very unique. The quality's phenomenal, the design, everything. And Nikki's going to talk a little bit about them throughout this video when we're talking about techniques, but 3 of you guys are going to win this brush set completely free of charge. BK Beauty has decided to gift 3 viewers a complete set of Nikki LaRose brush sets, which is so awesome. So the
So
way
amazing.
that you're right. So Nikki and I were talking about how you guys are going to win this. And the way that what we came up with is you're going to watch this live stream, right? Because you have lots to learn. And then at the very end of the live stream, I'm going to give you guys a quiz. Okay. And whoever answers the questions, there's going to be 3 questions. Whoever puts it in the chat first, the answer that's correct, is going to win a complete brush set, totally free of charge. So stay tuned for that because that's going to be really fun.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Gabby. Like that's fantastic. I'm so excited for you guys to win this.
Yeah, you'll die. Like, these are so nice. You're gonna die. If you're a makeup lover, even if you're not, you're gonna die when you get them.
Anyone can use them. Anyone can use them.
Anyone can, and you can use them in lots of different ways. So,
Yes.
okay, let's start with one of the most repeatedly asked questions. Okay. And you guys put your questions in the chat. I prioritize the chat. So I'm seeing that there is a ton of comments coming in, which is really exciting. But when you guys have a question, just put it in the chat and I'll try to get to it. One question that we get asked a lot is, how can I help cover hollow under eyes with makeup? Now, Nikki and I were talking a little bit about this. And as we get older, we get a lot of wrinkles and movement around our eyes, right? So you can get hollowness, but you can also get a lot of wrinkle and movement. So how do you cover the hollowness? How do you brighten that area? How do you cover the blue tones without looking more wrinkly, right? Because when you put concealer, you have to set it so that it doesn't crease. When you set it, it can look dry. When it looks dry, it can look more wrinkly. So this is a really tough question. I know it's a question you guys have, so I'm gonna let Nikki take this one.
Yeah, and I think it's a very complex question as well, too. There's lots of layers that are involved with this question, right? Because there's lots of layers to our skin and like the this specific problem that we want to address, right? So I think what's important too is, color correcting and camouflaging hollows under the eye, like a hollowness under the eye, which we usually get right here, right? It's very similar, if not almost exactly the same, to color correcting dark circles. So let's say you have dark circles under your eyes. You're going to want to go in with a color corrector first, or optional. And I feel like this is not talked about quite enough. Is, let's say you're someone and you're just intimidated by color correctors, meaning color correctors could be a range of different shades, ranging from red, depending on your skin tone, peach, and a light pink. So like a light peachy pink tone. And again, this is also dependent on like what tone your skin is. So you're going to want to pick the right color corrector based on your skin tone. Now, if you find that intimidating using like a color corrector, so the easiest way to color correct and also fill in hollows of your eyes is to actually get a concealer that matches your exact skin tone. So find a concealer that's going to match the majority of your face. So like the outer part of your face, not just under your eye. You want to match this area of your face exactly. Find a concealer that matches there, and you want to fill in that hollowness or that dark circle with a matching concealer, not a brighter concealer. That's going to be for afterwards. So that's a really important thing to point out, that camouflaging hollowness under the eye is pretty much the same thing as color correcting dark circles. So keep that in mind. Now, if you're in terms of using this on mature skin, you want to make sure that you're doing just lighter layers. Less is always going to be more, especially in an area of your face where you have maximum movement throughout the day. We're smiling, we're laughing, we're hopefully doing all these things. And if we're so lucky, we're smiling a lot. And that could create a lot of creasing throughout the day. So the more product you have under your eye, the more likely you're going to experience pretty heavy creasing. So a couple tips. If you have hollows under your eyes, dark hollows under your eyes, dark circles, or any kind of pigmentation on your eyes and the hollows, you want to match your concealer to the rest of your face. Using a match concealer is going to fill in that hollowness. It's going to quite literally like fill it in, almost like a primer would, right? It's going to fill in that area. It's going to bring it forward. So naturally, it's going to make it look more forward than it actually is. So it's all about bringing that area of the skin forward, because it's a hollow area. So you want to bring light there. After you do that, then optional, you might not even have to do this step, but I like to go in after that with a concealer that's about 2 to 3 shades max brighter than your actual complexion. And then I like to focus that lighter concealer for brightening as a way to like distract the eye. So I'll go in with that lighter concealer and I'll pop it in the tear duct. So right in this area right here, and then I'll pull it out this way. And you want to leave the center of your under eye, where we're prone to actually a lot more creasing in the center right here. You want to leave this area blank. And instead, by doing that highlighter on the outer part and the inner part, you're redirecting the focus of where your eye is going to look. So you're actually distracting even more away from the hollows and dark circles. So less is more. Find a color corrector to use or a matching concealer. That's the best tips I have.
Yeah, that is the biggest concern and question that I get asked from subscribers and from clients. Yeah. Something that Nikki and I were talking about before we came live is there's this thing, right, where when you put product on your skin, it kind of emphasizes what's under the skin. So if you have a lot of wrinkles under your eyes, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's literally a normal part of aging. It's a roadmap of your life, right? But when you have that and you're correcting it, it's going to look brighter. It's going to look beautiful. But to your eye, what you're going to see is I look more wrinkly. I'm in my late 30s and I even feel that way. Without concealer, my eyes look dark and I look tired, but with concealer, I get more texture. And that's just not something that you can really avoid. So what Nikki was saying earlier is that you kind of have to choose what your battle is. Are you battling the wrinkles or are you battling the darkness? And if I have to fight the war, I'll always battle the darkness. Always. I would rather have more lines and less darkness than less lines and more darkness. What about you, Nikki?
I feel like we have so much in common. I am the exact same way. I have dark circles. And yes, do I look in the mirror throughout the day when I have my concealer on and think, okay, yeah, I mean, I definitely have some creasing going on. But listen, I think it's really important to always have like just to manage our expectations with makeup, right? I think it's really important as a consumer, as a makeup wearer, you want to manage your expectations of what makeup can do. Makeup is incredible. It is a confidence booster. It's a mood booster. It's so many things, but it isn't magic. So you got to kind of like pick and choose your battles. Just like Gabby was saying, if you what's more important, covering your dark circles and not emphasizing your fine lines, right? So kind of pick and choose your battles and also just be a little bit more forgiving. We are human beings. We have movement, we have joy and expression in our face, and it's going to show throughout the day. And you also have to remember too, anything you put on top of your skin, makeup wise, tends to be a magnifying mirror for what you have going on underneath. And this is something I want to talk about also, is just like what you have going in with before makeup is what you're going to have coming out. So if you have skin texture, if you have dry patches, makeup is somewhat of a magnifying mirror to those things. It's going to enhance it in some way.
Yeah, and that's why skin prep and having a great skincare routine, but then also doing the skin prep is so important, because if you want things to look airbrushed and beautiful and flawless, you kind of need the underneath to be that way to support it. There's no product in the world that is going to take skin that's very dry and flaky and not exfoliated and make it look like glass skin, like that luminous, glowy look. It's just impossible. So,
Right.
Yeah, you really got to take care of that.
Exactly. So again, managing expectations for sure is a big deal, and skin prep is just key. Skin prep is key.
It's key. Okay, this is a great question from Sally. So I'm a big advocate for cream blush over the age of 50, 60. I mean, even like 20, 30, 19. I'm a big fan of cream blush.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
it. Right? It gives you a glow from within. So, Nikki, in your opinion, what's the best cream blush? And is cream blush best for over 60? If you could only have, if you had, okay, say you were 60 and you could only have one blush for the rest of your life, would it be cream or powder?
Cream.
Me too.
Easy answer. Cream. Cream just brings a liveliness to your skin. So if you have mature skin, and let's say you have dry mature skin, because you could have mature skin that's also oily, and maybe you might not like a cream product as your blush. But let's say
Yeah.
you have mature dry skin, a cream blush is just going to bring this liveliness and this youthful glow back to your skin. So I love it for that reason. But I love it for any age, just like Gabby said. Like, I love it for any age.
Yeah, it's really radiant. It's really luminous. Do you have a cream blush that's your favorite right now?
I am a huge, huge fan of the Persona Cosmetics cream blushes. I think they're called like the Dream Sticks. They're just one of my all-time favorite cream blush formulas. I have every single shade in my pro kit. They glide on easy. They blend out super easy. So if you're not super, skilled at blending, you won't have a hard time blending this blush out. They're really creamy. They're very glowy. But the best thing about them is they're they're highly pigmented, so you need a really small amount of them, and they also last on your skin very well throughout the day. So I love that formula. That's one of my personal favorites, but there's so many amazing cream blushes on the market. What's one of your favorites?
I have a few different ones. One that I reach for time and time again when I work with my mature models when I'm filming is the MAC Glow Play Blush.
So
I
good.
So good. It's got a more dense formula. It's not as easy to blend out, but it has really long lasting power. And the color Grand, which is kind of this peachy tone, is very flattering on a lot of skin tones. Another one that's quite popular is the Laura Geller one. Have you tried this one?
I haven't. It's been on my list, to be honest. I need to pick it up.
Yeah, so Lisa, who is also a makeup artist and the owner of BK Beauty, she talked about it on her channel. She fell in love with it. She loves it. This is nice for a mature skin because it's quite sheer. It's very luminous and it blends out really softly, but it is more of a sheer formulation. So say you're in your 50s, 60s, you don't wear a lot of makeup and makeup is a little bit intimidating to you. Something like this is perfect. You don't even have to put foundation on. You pop it on your cheek. You kind of blend it with your fingers. You get a little bit of color and glow, but it's not an overwhelming amount of color. Like this one, you need more experience to blend. And this one, I feel like it's very user friendly for the person that's not a big makeup wearer. But for me, as a big makeup wearer, it's almost not enough for me personally.
And that's the beauty of like having so many things on the market to choose from. Like there is just something for everyone. It doesn't matter what you're looking for. There is definitely something in the market for anyone, which is amazing.
Totally.
I also really like the new Makeup by Mario, the round one, the round cream blushes for more of like a user friendly, like a little bit more sheer. Those are really easy to work with. Have you tried those yet?
I have never tried those yet. I have a bunch of his stuff, but not that. Is it, you like it?
I do like it. It's newer. It's brand new to me. I literally just picked up one recently and I was in awe. I think I might actually put some in my pro kit to use on my more mature clients because I think it would be a really nice formula for more mature skin. And they're easy to blend. So they're like quick, easy.
Yeah, and we need that, right? Like I know that so many people want to be out the door. They don't have all this time. Like I have 2 kids. Like I don't have all this time to like finesse with things, every day. So it's nice to have those products, those staples that you can like pop on in a flash and feel really good in.
Absolutely.
So here's another great question. This is Eva. Thanks for watching, Eva. So what is the best foundation for women over 60? Nikki, I know you've been trying a lot.
I have been trying a ton and I have tried so many just in general. I have to say, well, question for you, Eva, too, is how much coverage are you looking to get? Are you looking for more of like a light to medium coverage? If so, I'm just going to base this answer on that kind of coverage. So if you're looking for like a light to medium coverage, then maybe you can kind of build up a bit if you want. 2 of my all-time favorites that I think work so well for mature skin and for mature dry skin also is, of course, no surprise here. Everyone knows that I love the Armani Luminous Silk. It is just a holy grail product for me that I never not have that in my kit. That is always stocked up in my pro kit. And also one for it's something that I love personally as well. And a newer one that came out in the last few years is the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. That is so gorgeous for mature skin. That is, I think that's a must try in my opinion.
Perfect. Thank you. We have a lot of questions coming in, you guys. I am trying my best to read these. Okay, this is another good one. I'm 63 and I use so many, I am 63 and I use as many cream products as I can. Yeah. Do you put cream blush and bronzer before or after setting powder? So I want Nikki to answer this, but then I want to do another question on top of this because I also saw another question that said, I have mature skin, but my skin is oily. I feel sometimes, and I'm very guilty of this on my channel, I recognize that we kind of always categorize mature skin as dry. And not every mature skin is dry. There's many that are also oily or have T-zone areas or combinations. So I want you to answer this first, Nikki, but then maybe you can go and on an aside and talk a little bit about oily mature skin and what you would suggest for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny, Gabby, because I was just thinking this I'm guilty of this as well. I am absolutely guilty of this as well. I always associate mature skin to being more dry skin, because we do tend to lose a little bit more moisture as we get older. Like, it's something that I've noticed too, just being in my later 30s now. I'm like, my skin used to be so oily, and now I'm like, maybe need a little bit more moisturizer. Like, things are changing a bit. And so I just always associate mature skin with being more dry. But there definitely are, of course, mature, oily skin people out there. So to answer your question, do you put cream blush and bronzer before or after setting powder? So if this is tricky, okay. So as a makeup artist, and this is not the most easiest thing to do, you can do it both ways. However, I would say that cream bronzer has to go before setting powder. But with blush has a little more wiggle room. So depending on if you set your entire face, for example, let's say you're someone who has mature, oily skin and you set your entire base makeup with powder, then you'd want to go in naturally and put your cream products all before you set your makeup. Because the rule of thumb, generally speaking, with makeup is you want to put all your liquids and cream, all your wet products go first before any of your dry products. So if you just kind of keep that in mind, it's a really easy way to just kind of map out what your routine is going to look like step by step. But there's always exceptions. For example, the exception is I set most of my clients' bases entirely, and then I'll go in and add luminosity with a cream blush, and I'll bring that liveliness back to the skin. But you have to be very careful when you're layering creams or anything wet on top of a powdered product that's on your skin. You need to change up your techniques. You want to make sure you're using a stippling, light patting motion, for example. Okay, not to plug my brush, but the N17 is a game changer for that, because it's light, it's dense enough, but also light enough that it applies this perfect amount of pressure. So it makes it ideal for layering cream and liquid products on top of powdered bases. Because let's say you went with something that's more dense and more compact and more of like a stippling brush, that's going to apply more pressure to that powdered base, and it's going to end up lifting and kind of breaking through that powdered base that you carefully placed on your skin. And you don't want that. So if you're trying to do creams and liquids on top of powdered makeup, light pressure, tapping motion, or a light pressing motion is going to be perfect for you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Exactly. What would you do for a mature skin that has oil production? Would you go into a matte base, or would you still stay luminous? Would you still use cream? What do you think you would do in that case?
It's going to be different for everyone. It's going to be kind of different to, like, what's your aesthetic? Do you like a more matte aesthetic as a mature skin person? Like, do you still want to have like that matte, fully matte look to your skin? If so, you're going to want to go in, of course, with more. I would still go in with satin-based products, to be quite honest, because they're going to look more, natural on your skin than a matte product would look on your skin, especially if you have more mature skin. I hate to put rules out there, but I don't recommend matte finishes for even mature oily skin. So even if you have mature oily skin, it's not the first finish that I would recommend you use, because I think it could look a little heavier on your skin than you would probably want. Instead, I would switch for something in the middle. So there's glowy, there's satin, and then there's matte, right? I would stick to something in the middle, because you're going to get like a nice happy medium with that kind of satin finish. And then you can alter it too. So like, let's say you have mature skin, you have an oily T-zone specifically, powder down that T-zone, leave the rest of your skin looking more satin. It will look more skin-like. It will look more fresh. And then powder as you need throughout the day. Like if you get oily, get a nice lightweight blotting powder to touch up throughout the day. But if you have oily, mature skin, I would actually do both products. And here's why. The more you layer your products, the longer lasting they're going to be. When you have oily skin, your skin tends to almost eat up the product. So I don't know if you ever noticed this, or if it's something you've noticed, Gabby, that if you have a client who has more dry skin, don't your products tend to last longer on them throughout the day? Whereas if you have someone with oily skin, it almost tends to like seep into their skin and slide off throughout the day, because you have that oiliness, that oil coming through, which tends to break down your product, which tends to make your makeup not last throughout the day. So a great thing to do would be layer your creams with your powders. So if you're going to use a cream blush, you layer a powder on top that's going to lock it in. It's going to keep it on so much longer. And it's not so heavy. So again, if you have mature skin, less is more. Maybe don't pack on too many thick layers of those products, and you'll look so perfect throughout the day, and your makeup will stay put so much better if you layer. Same with bronzer. Cream bronzer, layer a powder on top. You'll get way more longevity, and it will stay put so much longer if you have oily skin.
Yeah, and it still looks like it's coming from within. I
Yes.
think some women get intimidated by the amount of products, but you guys, you don't need to put a lot on. Like, say you're putting a little bronzer here on the forehead and into the cheekbone and maybe the jawline, then you can just grab a little powder one and buff it in lightly. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a whole production. Um, the same goes even for your brows. If you put your brows on and you find halfway through the day, I have no more brows, you know, especially if you really have issues with brows, you put your waxy product on, you use your pencil, and then you put a nice thin layer, a nice soft layer of powder over that. The powder is going to lock the cream and it's going to last significantly longer. These are all like bridal makeup tips. I had a bridal company for 18 years. We did, oh my God, anywhere from 60 to 80 wedding parties per year. I just closed it down in the fall, actually, because content started to kind of take over. But Nikki did bridal for a long time too. And bridal's all about that. It's not about putting an enormous amount of product on the face, but it's about putting the right products in the right places and building them so that everything stays put the whole day. So when she was saying that technique, it just brought me back, because that's what I would always do with brides, even the brides that wanted to be, you know, the Hailey Bieber glowy look. It's like, okay, we'll give you that, but we're going to be layering it so that that's not gone in 2 hours. You know what I mean?
100%. I think, one of my biggest makeup, uh, just philosophies, I guess, is just layers, working in thin, light layers and building it. And that's always been one of my biggest, that's like one of my biggest techniques actually, is if you watch my makeup tutorials, it's a lot of steps, I know, and it's a lot of products usually, but I'm not using a ton of that product, right? So I'm using thin, small layers and building on them. And the more you layer your makeup, the better longevity you're gonna get throughout the day. That's just the reality of makeup, right? It's more time consuming, but it's worth it in the end, especially if you're a bride, or especially if you're like, if you have mature skin and you work all day and you want your makeup to look as great as it did when you first put it on in the morning. You're going to want to do some light layers and build on that, and you're going to get the best results always.
Yeah, and all that is just practice. I know that
Yeah.
so many people feel intimidated, or I'll get comments on my tutorials where I'm working with my models and they're like, "Who has time? No one's going to do has time for that." And I know it feels intimidating when you're new. But as you build your makeup skills, as you build your kit, these things become intuitive. Like for me, it's hard. Sometimes I want to cut out parts of my makeup tutorials because I'll be like, "Oh, people are going to think this is," I'm like, maybe if I just cut out that I did the cream, and then I'll get a comment, "Did you put any bronzer? She looks bronzed." I want to like simplify it, but the reality is that we're makeup artists, we're not magicians. If we're doing a huge before and after result, that requires a lot of products and placement and technique. Do you know what I'm saying? It's really hard because sometimes I even get comments like, "How do I get my skin to look better without using foundation?" And it's like, again, like we're not magicians, we're makeup artists. I
Yeah.
can, you've got to get the result, you got to do the work. Like that's just how it is.
I 100% agree. And I have the same problem actually. I think all the time, like, oh my gosh, this tutorial I'm going to post is just way too long. Like, what can I cut out? And then I'm like, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So then I end up posting really long tutorials, and it just kind of is what it is. And, um, you know, because we do it and because we recommend it, doesn't mean that you have to do these things. But, I think what's important to remember is, you know, with makeup, if you're not happy with the outcome and you're searching these things on the internet, these are our best tips. And, yes, they do probably take a little bit more time than what you're used to, but I promise you they're worth it.
Yeah, and try it and play. And I
Yeah.
I was I was talking to another friend of mine who's also a celebrity makeup artist, and what she was saying, she was on the channel, her name's Rachel, and she came and she did my makeup, and it was really cool because she did my makeup so differently than I do
Who
it,
is
and I felt
this?
yeah, it was, oh my gosh, she's incredible. And what she said is like, when you're playing and when you're trying new things, do it when you don't have to go anywhere. So there's no pressure. It's 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, you've had your dinner, you're just hanging out, put on a movie and then start playing. And that's how you get really good at it.
Absolutely. I mean, it goes back to like practice makes perfect, right? The more you do something, it becomes second nature and it becomes like, it's not even a big deal. It's an afterthought. It's so easy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I play with new makeup when you don't have an important event. Don't
Yeah.
play with it when you have like a party to go to, and a dinner or something important in your life where you're going to be photographed, especially. Oh my gosh, don't experiment then. Um, Before bed, I know so many other content creators that just like literally before they go to bed at night, the two other content creators that do makeup, and they're like, this is my time. I have like new products in my bathroom and I test them all out and I just kind of like haphazardly put them all over my face and I just see what happens. And then I wash my face at night, I do my skincare routine, and then I'm done.
Yes.
I'm like, that's genius.
I do it too. I do that all the time. That's like my time. My kids go to bed. I'm like, I'm out, going to the
Yeah.
bathroom for 3 hours.
Awesome.
Okay, this is a good one. We should focus a little on eyes since we've done so much complexion. So I have dark brown eyes, just like you both, and a light complexion. What do you think is the best eyeshadow color to really enhance your dark brown eyes?
So I personally, I love purple and I love blue. If you have dark brown eyes, purple, like I actually have dark brown eyes. And purple, anytime I wear purple, usually more of like a deep purple, less of like a lilac or lavender, but like a true purple and a blue, like a cobalt blue. I
Yeah.
get so many compliments. It is such an amazing way to bring out your brown eyes. But also, what's not talked about enough, in my opinion, I think rich caramel browns, believe it or not, bring out brown eyes so well.
Yeah. Yeah, I just filmed a video that's going live on Sunday. I'm going to do a premiere. So if you guys want to watch that video when it goes live at 10 a.m. on Sunday, I'm going to be on there as well. We're going to be doing like a live chat so you can ask me questions about it. One of the biggest trends that are forecasted for 2024 makeup looks is blue. And we're seeing it
Yeah.
already on like Selena Gomez is wearing it on Instagram. It's popping up. There's so many different ways to do it. I know blue can feel like, oh, it's 80s and 90s. It doesn't have to be at all. You can do it as a graphic liner under the eye, smoked. You can do it as like an actual like winged or like a really nice, the bottom liner wouldn't be a graphic liner. It'd be like a smoky blue underneath. Then you could do like a graphic liner with it. You can use it just on the inner tear duct. You can do a smoky eye with it. And I actually wore that look for that video when I filmed it. And I have dark brown eyes too. And it really brings them out so much. It's crazy. Blue and brown eyes, for whatever reason, it's like incredible combination.
It really is. Don't be afraid. This is actually something I want to talk about too, like mature skin. If you have mature skin, I feel like you should not be afraid of color still. I mean, don't be afraid. If you want to wear blue and you want to be, let's say you want to like jump on that blue trend that's going to, like you said, it's going to happen this year. Don't be afraid and just like implement it in small ways and play with it, Try the tear duct, try a little bit of like a liner, maybe even just try the bottom lash line going halfway and then buff it out so it's really soft and diffuse. That's a really great way to incorporate colors into your eye makeup routine, and then complement it by using a nice neutral in the crease to soften it and keep it simple.
Yeah, as long as you keep the rest of the look soft, you can really pull it off. Like you can even take, I think a really great technique is if you're not even a makeup wearer, okay, you just get a poppy liner, you put it on the upper waterline, smudge it out a little, use a nice black mascara so you have that contrast. You keep your your lips nude, you keep your cheeks, natural, you use some bronzer. That looks great, and it's a great way to add color.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid. Anybody can wear any color.
Totally. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, what is the best primer for oily skin and large pores? So let's go on a primer tangent. Do you like primers? Do you believe in them? What do you think?
Okay, so anyone who watches my channel is probably not going to be surprised by my answer. I'm not the biggest lover of primers. They're just not something that I first look for to solve problems. What I look for, let's say I get a client in my chair and they have some texture, they have some larger pores, my mind automatically thinks first, what can I prep their skin with before any kind of makeup that's going to minimize the appearance of that. And for me personally, like let's say, just to pick up on the large pores part specifically, if you have large pores, yeah, actually even for oily skin, this would pertain for you too. What I look to do first is not grab a primer. I look for my skincare products to solve that first. And I love to do daily, if not every other day, depending on like how my skin is feeling or how the client's skin is feeling when I'm working with them. I love to do liquid exfoliators. Liquid exfoliators are a game changer for all those things. So if you have oily skin, it's going to help to kind of keep that at bay. It's going to help to neutralize your skin and really get it softened and ready for the rest of your makeup to go on top. But also liquid exfoliators help so much in the overall appearance of large pores. It doesn't get rid of it, but it helps overall the appearance of it to soften them and to just make them look more refined and just less noticeable. So I'm a huge advocate for skin prep first. And then whatever you can't solve with skin prep, then you can grab a primer that is specific to what you need more of, right? So if you've got your skin prep down, you've done everything you can in terms of skin prep and your skin is feeling great, but you still are noticing you have like larger pores, then you want to go find, of course, a primer that's going to help to minimize and fill in larger pores. And if you have oily skin, I would still, of course, again, go back to the skincare. Skincare is so crucial if you have oily skin. A lot of the time people produce more oil throughout the day because their skin is dehydrated and it's making up for the lack of hydration that it has. So it's overproducing oil. So I would say make sure you quench your skin's thirst first. Do a nice hydrator, do a moisturizer, and then add an additional primer if you need it in a very small amount in just the areas that you need it the most. Makeup Forever has some of my favorite primers, especially the one for oily skin is fantastic.
Yeah, if you guys want a budget friendly option, I just discovered this one. I am like a huge fan of e.l.f. I need to reach out to this company because the amount I talk about them, I should at least get the products for free. Not that they really are expensive, but this one's kind of cool. This one's called the Poreless Putty Primer. I find this one nice because it kind of goes on like a balm. I would never use this on the entire face, on my entire face or a client. But if there's, larger pores around here, then I will put this in almost like a spackle. It kind of fills it in. Primer isn't a miracle product though, like people think it is. I think that it can be good for people that don't have a good skincare routine. It can definitely help, if you just haven't gotten on top of your skincare routine. But I don't think it's the be all and end all like a lot of people think. You know what I mean? It supports a bit, but I don't think the results are so dramatic. Like if I had to skip one thing in my makeup routine, it would probably be primer.
Same. I feel exactly the same way. And I get the same question all the time, Gabby. It's one of my most common questions, to be quite honest, across all social media platforms I get. What's your favorite primer? What's your favorite primer for this problem? What's your favorite primer for that problem? And I just don't, it's not something that I utilize the most. Yes, I have them, of course. And I have a few different ones in my pro kit that I will grab. I think there's a time and place for primers is like the best way I could put it. I think there's a time and a place, but I think that you should never rely on your primer to fix any skin problems, any skin issues. Totally. So if you're having issues with oil, you're having issues with dry patches, texture, a lot of those problems can be solved with your skin prep. And if that doesn't work and you still need that additional help, that's when I think that primers are a really great tool to bring in as like reinforcement, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I completely agree. Okay. So this is a good question. I can never get nude lipstick to work on my mature, light, medium, olive skin. So you kind of are in our wheelhouse here. Yeah. I'd love to know why they do not work because I love them. I definitely have an opinion on this.
Me too.
But Nikki, you go first, girl. You tell me yours.
Okay. So 2 things. If it's not working for you, are you using the right lip liner to go with? Because nude lipsticks specifically, to me, it's a non-negotiable. You have to wear nudes with lip liner. You have to have that foundation underneath and you have to have that framework underneath. So A, your lips don't get lost. And so B, it doesn't wash you out. But the other thing I do want to point out, and I really hate to put any kind of rules on mature skin. I'm really, really against that. However, I don't always recommend nude lipsticks for mature skin. I think that as you get older, you lose naturally some pigment in your lips. And as you age, you want to bring that liveliness and that youthful color back to your lips. So nude lipsticks are not my first recommendation for mature lips. However, if you want to wear them and it's something that you feel confident, you feel beautiful in, then I'm not here to tell you you can't do it. But I would suggest making sure you pick a really great lip liner that's going to complement your skin and your undertone to wear underneath that nude. And also, it's all about picking the right undertone in your nude. So you want to make sure you're not getting something that's too gray. If you have warm skin, like a warm undertone skin, or if you have an olive complexion like we do, make sure you're not getting something that's too cool tone because that's not going to be flattering. Make sure you're opting for something that's more peachy, that has some warmth to it. So it's about picking the right undertone, lining your lips if you want to do a nude.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues with nudes across the board, not just on mature skin, is when you make your lips the color of your face. Like there's no liner, there's no definition, there's no vermilion border. It's
Yeah.
just like, boom, like your lips are gone. That was the look before when I was growing up. J-Lo used to do that a lot. And it was like great, smoky eye, like it was like concealer mouth, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's not really in anymore. So it looks dated. So that's one thing. You might feel like you look dated, but you look like a corpse too. Like you just lose all your radiance. I think when we are talking about mature skin specifically, I know a lot of you guys are in that demographic here. You need to give yourself vibrancy. So I always show this in my videos. So when you look at a baby's face, you'll immediately notice that their lips are flushed, that their cheeks are rosy, they have these big eyes, and that's what signals to our brain that you're youthful, right? As we get older, we lose color. So I used to work in film and TV, like we were mentioning, commercial. Sometimes we would do breakdown makeup. So we wouldn't make people look better. We'd actually like make people into characters. Whenever we wanted to age the skin, we would make it super dry and flat and sallow, like no radiance, no flushing, nothing. Like take away the color of someone, make their skin dry, you make them look super old. You'll add 30 years to their face, right? Along with like wrinkle stipple and all the other like special effects stuff. But anyways, I digress. So I think what happens sometimes as we get older, when we start feeling not pretty and nude, is because it can look a bit aging. So in my experience, when a woman wants to go nude who's older, I do like a berry nude. So it's a pink based nude. So it's not brown, it's not concealer tone, it's not tan, it's a berry. And so when you're looking for a product like that, you want to look for something like pink nude or light mauve, anything like that. It will still look nude to the eye, but it gives enough color that it looks youthful.
That's a great tip. That's a really great tip. Stay away from the ones that are going to look pasty and more like a concealer shade on you, and definitely opt for the ones like you're mentioning. That's a really great tip. And don't forget the lip liner.
Lip liner is everything. I don't even wear like a lip balm without lip liner. I right? Like it's everything. And so many women don't even own it.
I know, and I'm always surprised because it's something I rely on so heavy. It's like between my brows and like lip liner, those are like two must-haves for me in my makeup kit, or for me personally. But I think actually just to touch on something too, like that does age, that can age you, like a mistake when you're in terms of like your makeup, right? If you're wearing lip liner, if you go in too far into the corners, the inner corners of your mouth, or if you make your cupid's bow too sharp. This is something that that gets debated on my Instagram a lot, is when you go too sharp on your cupid's bow, it can actually be a really harsh look. And if you have mature skin, it can actually age you. Do you agree with that? Or is that something you've noticed too?
100%. Yeah, if you peak too much, like
Yes.
rounding out the shape, even if you have a more rectangular style Cupid's bow, just soften. You know, like nails, how you can do a square nail, or you can do a round nail, or you can do like a rounded square.
An
I
almond.
think the lip should be the same. It
Yeah.
should be, even if it's a natural, more angular lip line, just round the corners a little bit so that you don't end up with like Cruella de Vil style peaks. Do you know what I mean?
Because that could be a harsh way, and it could definitely appear more aging, and we don't want that, right? So just round out that top lip. even if it's just a touch, even if it's just slightly, like you're saying, just round it out just slightly, play with it, of course, and just avoid those really tight inner corners because it really can bring down your bottom lip. And as we age, our lips are already kind of going downturned as it is. So you don't want to
Yeah.
enhance that and bring focus to that. You want to definitely like avoid this and just kind of keep it nice and soft.
Yeah, and all that corrective work, you guys, is just done with liner. Don't even try to do it with your lipstick. You won't get the precision. All that corrective work, like when the lips start downturning, again, that's so normal. That's every client I have over the age of 60 has that.
Yeah.
You can correct it so that you give yourself a youthful shape again. And liner lasts all day. I put my lip liner on, I kid you not, at 7 a.m. this morning. And look, it's still there, and I didn't even touch it up.
Yeah, lip liner is a game changer, especially if you want your lipstick or your lip balm, whatever you're wearing on your lips to last longer. Line your lips with lip liner. It's just key. But also, I think it makes your overall lip line appear smoother. So it's going to help a lot with feathering. So a lot of questions that I get too is, how do I prevent my lipstick from feathering? I have mature lips. I have wrinkles on my lips, fine lines. We all do. And, they could just get worse as we get older, of course. And when you have those fine lines in your lips, your lipstick tends to seep through it and starts to feather out and not look so clean. Lip liner is just a must because it acts like a border and a frame to keep that product better intact.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a little fence that keeps it in. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it's really waxy. So it can't like protrude out of there as easily, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You guys, we have 9 minutes left. I can't believe how fast this went. Holy smoke.
I blinked and it's over. It's wild.
Yeah. I want to answer as many questions as I can. If you guys are really, really desperate for a question, like for an answer, and you haven't been able to get in, if you send a super chat in now, we will get them in before we end the stream. But other than that, I want to talk a little bit about, you know what? Oh my gosh, these questions. You guys have so many good questions. Okay, you know what? Let's pop this one up. This is from Sherry. Brown spot cover up. I can never achieve full coverage. However, after listening to Nikki, perhaps I'm using too much product. So Sherry, another question that goes with this question that we got on Instagram was about melasma. Okay, if you don't know what melasma is, it's hyperpigmentation that is placed in certain areas of the skin. So you get these areas that are quite dark. So brown spots are kind of like melasma. It's a very tricky thing to cover. So Nikki, how do you deal with that with your clients?
I actually have a ton of clients that have melasma. So like melasma specifically, but melasma, sunspots, age spots, dark spots, they're all in the same category for the most part. Of course, like some are more severe. Some people have it in like a big stripe across their face. Some just have a few little spots, depending on what you're working with. I actually treat it the same way I do dark circles under the eyes. So I assess like the color that they are, like how dark they are, how deep they are, and I go from there. But I treat it the same way. I use a color corrector, and typically I use peach color correctors to counteract dark spots on the face. I do that first. But what I actually do is I do the foundation first. I do a thin, light layer, so it looks nice, natural. And then I go in after that with a thin layer of the color corrector. And again, I have so many clients that have melasma on their cheeks. So right here. And I'll go in with the color corrector. I'll pat it in. I'll let it dry down a touch. I don't set it with powder, but I let it pretty much dry down and self-set in a way. And then I move on to concealer. And then I layer the concealer under the eyes. And then you can layer your concealer on top of it. Or depending on what coverage your foundation is, you can layer more of your foundation on top of that color corrector. So it really depends on like what kind of foundation formula you're working with. If you're working with, let's say, like a luminous foundation, you would put that first base of luminous foundation first. In my opinion, this is what works the best for me and my clients. Then I go in and color correct with a thin layer. I let that dry down, and then I'll go on top of it with a more full coverage concealer, and then I'll set the whole base. But color correction is going to be key. You can't just go in, even if you have a full coverage foundation, you'll still see that darker pigmentation poking through and peeking through. And especially throughout the day, as we wear our makeup and it tends to dissipate a little bit throughout the day, you'll see it start to peek through, and that could be a really frustrating issue. So color correction is definitely key.
Is there a corrective palette that you really like using?
I have a big, this is not necessary for everyone, but as a makeup artist, I have so many color correctors in my kit. I have ones from NARS. I have ones from Bobbi Brown. I have a big, Gabby, do you like that big Bobbi Brown face palette? It's like cream foundations, cream concealers, and also color correctors.
Oh, yes.
So I
Yes.
use that in my pro kit, but I also rely heavily on the new Huda Beauty color correctors. Those are fantastic. But I think if you're just looking for like a nice, easy way to color correct, Sherry, I would recommend the Bobbi Brown individual color correctors. They come in like light peach, dark peach, different tones of peach. And that's going to be a really quick and easy way because you just kind of take your finger. I wish I had it near me. You take your finger, you dip into it, and you pat it on the dark spots of your skin. And then you layer your foundation or your concealer on top. Or I really love, again, I love the Huda Beauty whole new faux filter color correctors that she has out. Those are fantastic.
Yeah. See, when I use color correctors, I'm finding that this brush, okay, I'm plugging Nikki because she's not doing that. So I want to talk about these brushes just for a minute because I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the whole set, but these brushes are like mind blowing. So when I started in makeup 18 years ago, okay, we used to use synthetic. I wish I had one here. We used to use synthetic foundation brushes. Those brushes are good, but they leave streaks. I still have some in my kit. I pull them out once in a while. But since then, we've kind of evolved to using fluffier foundation brushes. So brushes like this, right, that are fluffy in texture and you can buff the foundation in. Beauty blenders have really taken over for the same reason, more airbrushed finish, less work. So Nikki created this brush, which is a foundation brush, which is a hybrid between the old school synthetic brush and the new fluffy brush. So it's like fluffy brush and synthetic brush had a baby and made this brush. And then she made a little baby version of it. So then that mommy had a baby and made the baby version. So these are amazing for getting like your foundation into all your crevices, right? And blending like a dream. This is like amazing for under eye. But I find the texture of this is incredible for building up pigment on dark spots. Right. So whenever
you just know these brushes so well, I could listen to you talk about my brushes all day because I'm like, yes, you just get it. It's so awesome.
They were like a revelation to me because I was using, right. I'm like, what? This has never been created before.
Oh my God, you're the best. I love you. But you totally get it. And you really do see the brushes and like their uses and you see it through the eyes of a makeup artist. So like it's like you got in my head, you know exactly why I make these brushes. I love it. But yes, this is a fantastic brush. It's the N16. So this is my concealer brush. Now, sorry, let me just try to find a little, blank space. So this has it comes to a point in the center and it has longer bristles in the center at the very tip of the brush. And this brush is great for two reasons, but especially if you are doing if you're using a color corrector, what I like to use it for and how I like to use it is I'll dip into the color corrector. I'll pat it on areas that I need to color correct, right? So you want to do a patting motion because you want maximum amount of coverage in the areas that have hyperpigmentation, melasma, etc., right? You want to pack on the product. You don't want to blend it out and diffuse it. You want to pack it on in that area and you want to concentrate it. But then as you get to the edges where there's no color correction that needs to be done, you don't want to have a harsh line for where that color corrector starts and stops, right? So you take the longer fiber tip of the brush to diffuse and buff out the edges, and that's going to blend the rest of it seamlessly into your skin. So this brush is a game changer for applying any kind of concealing product or color corrector.
I think that's a problem that a lot of people are making. I'm doing this whole bathroom takeover series that's starting soon where I go to a viewer's bathroom. Yeah, with my camera crew and I look at the brushes they have, the products they have, and I basically tell them, okay, the reason you're not happy with this is because you don't have the right tools or the right products. And I think this is going to be something that is going to come up time and time again as I do these bathroom makeovers because I see it in my clients. When they're applying concealer to dark spots, they're applying it like they put their concealer and then they go like this. And so you're putting the concealer, you're rubbing it away. You're putting the concealer, you're rubbing it away. You need a brush that can pack, not only a brush, but the technique, right? You need to put your concealer, you need to pack and then diffuse lines. So you want to build coverage in the area, diffuse the line.
Yep.
So then there isn't a circle or a highlighter in that area, but you're completely camouflaging what you need to camouflage, right? And that's the 3-part thing. When you really want to brighten under eyes or brighten dark spots, you need the right product, you need the right tool, right?
Mhm.
And you need the right technique. If you don't have those 3 things, you're not going to be able to achieve things, especially when it comes to melasma, extreme dark circles, dark spots, age spots. You really need to refine that technique with patting motions and feathering. You can do that with your finger, right? By patting or with a beauty blender. But if you have a tool like this, it makes it so much easier. You know what I mean?
So well said. Absolutely. You need those 3 things. They're crucial. Absolutely.
Yeah. I could keep Nikki here all day. It's 7
I could
o'clock.
stay here all day. I know.
Nikki can't see your comments, you guys, only I can see them, but there's literally over 400 active viewers right now. And I'm getting so many comments. I can't even read them all. I wanted to ask you guys. Yeah. So let's do our giveaway. So as Nikki was talking, I was writing down some answers. So I'm going to quiz you. Okay. We're going back to school for this. Whoever answers it first is going to win a brush set. We're doing it 3 times. Are you guys ready? Okay, here we go. When you have hollowness under the eyes, should you use a concealer that is brighter than your eyes to hide the hollowness, or should you use a concealer that's the same color as your skin? Go. Same color, Maggie. Yeah. Oh, now we have like hundreds of answers. I'm sorry, you guys. Maggie got it. Okay, Maggie, I'm writing down your name. Girl, you were paying attention. Okay, so Maggie, what I'm gonna. Good job, girl. So what I need you to do is send me an email, inquiry@glamgirlgabby.com. I'm going to put that in the pinned comment as soon as our live stream ends. Send me an email. I have your name down. All I need is your mailing address, and that's going to be sent out right away. Okay. You guys ready for the next one? What eye makeup color is going to be hot for this year and brings out brown eyes? Go. My God, the anticipation is killing me. Oh, we got it. We got it. I have to scroll up. I'm sorry. Here we go. Here we go. Blue, Fran.
Congrats, Fran.
Congrats, Fran.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for Maggie and Fran.
Nikki, how much is your brush set?
180.
180. So you guys are getting a steal. Oh, let's just mention really quick before our last giveaway that these are going to be released as individuals in, is it tomorrow?
Bring that up, Gabby. Tomorrow, January 18th, Thursday. So if you have the brushes already and you want like backups of your favorite, not to play favorites, but like if you want backup of your favorites individually, and they're all my favorites. They're all my babies, but they're all going to be sold individually. So I've had so many people ask me about this since they came out, like since November when they were first released. So I'm so thrilled to announce they're going to be sold individually.
Yeah. So if you're like dying for this concealer brush, but you don't have the budget for the whole set, then you can get it tomorrow. And I'm going to leave links to that in the description box of this video. I'm going to leave it in the pinned comment. So check back tomorrow and you guys can definitely go online and get it.
Thanks.
Okay. Gabby. Ready for the last one?
What's the last one?
Okay. Let me get Fran out of here. You know, you won. I've written your name down. Okay. Are you guys ready? What color corrector, so what color of color corrector is the best color to cover dark spots? This one's harder. Go. Ah, we got it. We got it. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to scroll up. I need an admin person here. Sorry, guys. We just scroll. There's like hundreds of comments. Okay. Janet, you got it, Janet. Right in the nick of time, because right after you, we literally had hundreds
Amazing. Congrats, Janet.
Congrats, Janet.
I'm
You're gonna.
so excited for you to get my brushes. I'm so excited.
You guys are you're literally gonna die. They're so amazing. And I also just noticed that Lisa is in the chat. I just the creator of BK Beauty. Let's give her a big shout out before we leave. Lisa is also an incredible makeup artist. I'm a huge fan of her content and a huge fan of her as a woman and entrepreneur. She created this whole line of brushes, BK Beauty, and her brushes are spectacular. Like, it is hard to impress a makeup artist that's been doing it for 20 years.
Same,
And
your
so,
favorites.
Yeah, do you want to show some of your favorites?
Yes, I do. So I can't just be biased. Obviously, I made this incredible set with BK, and I'm forever grateful to Lisa. She's just a fantastic person. She's my friend now. I can call her my friend. But prior to my brushes, and still one of my all-time favorite brushes that I cannot live without, is the 106. This brush is one of my everything kind of brushes. Cream bronzer, powders, liquid foundation, cream blush, doesn't matter. This brush does so many amazing things. So this is one of my favorite for complexion. What about you, Gabby?
Oh my God. I have so many that I love, like so many. And you know what's funny? So I have right? Like, my brushes are everywhere. I have some here, but all my BK Beauty brush. I know. I selfishly save them all for myself. So they're almost all in my bathroom, but I really like A506. So this is the collab she did with Angie from Hot and Flashy, another incredible creator. Yeah, we just really have like the best community here on YouTube of like female creators, and it's been like such a joy being a part of it. But this is a really cool brush because it's also a concealer brush that I find is amazing when you have really dark depth under. So that's A506. I bring this out all the time.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you haven't tried BKB brushes, like they're top notch. Like the quality, the fact that they're vegan, they're cruelty free, they're just fantastic brushes.
Yeah, totally.
We have 3 new people that are going to have them, so I'm so excited.
We are so excited. And thank you to Lisa for doing that. Lisa found out about our live stream, and she's the one who was like, can I send brushes? Can we do a giveaway? And that, speaks volumes about her. She really does give to the community, and she's just such a gift to the makeup industry. So I'm really honored that I know you guys.
Ever meet, like literally the most generous, kindest person. So she made our life better.
Thank you guys so much for watching. It was so amazing having you here, Nikki. Thank you so much for taking the time.
I mean, I'm so honored to be on your channel. I'm so thrilled. This was so much fun. I'll come back anytime you want me to come back. So just let me know. I had so much fun.
I would love that. And you guys, do you want her to come back? Tell me in the chat. The chat's going to blow up now like they did during the competition.
We have so many great questions, and it's so hard to fit them in. So anytime you want to do a part 2, I'm just going to throw it out there and invite myself. I'll come back anytime. But thank you so much for having me, Gabby.
Yes, we'll do it again for sure. Thank you guys, and thank you for coming.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Congrats to the winners.
Bye, guys.
Bye.